All right, I'm gonna go back a little bit. So like in like high school, I was selling like candy and stuff. So
Yeah.
so I was selling. I
I
had
remember that,
I
bro.
had the Reese's, the Hershey's, the Snickers, the cinnamon rolls, honey buns, Gatorades, had gum, everything you needed. I had it. So it started out like I would bring, you know, I started out bringing like snacks to school. So I bring like a honey bun or something, and
Yeah.
like two juice pouches, and I was also running track, so I needed snacks anyway. Uh, so my friend, like one of my friends in my classes, he was like, "Yo, you eating that honey bun? I'll give you $1 for it." I'm like, nah, I'll take the dollar. So uh, yeah, really started from that. Then I brought like four the next day. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
more people
yeah,
started asking, and I'm like, this is pretty easy. So
yeah.
like I say like a week later, I go to Sam's Club. I buy like 5 boxes of honey buns. I buy Gatorade. I buy some cinnamon rolls. Then I started selling candy and stuff. I was even selling to the teachers. You know,
Man.
selling to the teachers, the principals. But yeah, I like that was easy for me. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like take the profit, set it aside, go back, reinvest it into the buying more stuff.
yeah.
I had everything. I'm telling you.
What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Gabriel Hoff Jr., and welcome to the You Are Story podcast. Our goal here is to bring people on just to share their stories, have them come on and share their experiences and things like that. And it just affirms the fact that you're not just a part of the story, but you are the story. Your story can help somebody else and impact their life in a great way. So with that being said, I have a special guest here for y'all today. It's somebody who is, pretty much literally like my day one, someone who's been in my life for a long time, someone who has helped me with so much, and I wouldn't be here without them. And it's family. It really is family, literally family. I have my cousin here, Joshua, today, man. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Glad to be here, man. Glad to
Yeah,
be here.
I appreciate that,
Yeah.
man. It's when I was first starting up this podcast, something that I was excited for. One of my biggest, goals for it was to bring family on, because as I know, like our family is big. We got a huge family. There's a bunch of wisdom. We wouldn't be the men we are without them.
Facts.
And even with this time of year, with the holidays, we're recording this at the time of the holidays, and having our family here and just hearing all their stories, hearing their experiences, and everybody coming together, it's truly like a blessing, to be around them. But it's cool to have you on here. You're the first family member I brought on here, man. How's it feel?
Feels pretty good, man. Setting the tone, like setting the tone, like
Man, but if y'all don't know, like a lot of people use the term day one and just kind of throw it around, right? And it can mean a bunch of different things. Like it could be someone who's literally been there since the day you were born, literally day one. It could be somebody who you met last week, who's just been there for you, and the loyalty is there and everything. But with me and you, it's both. Like we're around the same age. We're both, 2000 babies. We're both family. We just been there since the beginning. And one thing that I think is a great thing about you is your support. I notice with you, family is important to you, and not just family, but even friends and other people as well. And something I notice about you is you're always supporting, and you're always not afraid to just shout people out when they got things on. And even you being here, just supporting me and everything, it's amazing, man. So I'm curious, like, what makes you want to support everybody so much? Like, what is it? Something that happened, when you were younger? Is it something that you kind of came to the realization as you got older? What about you makes you just feel the need to support everybody?
I feel like I just I just want everybody to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's it's not, you know, I just want, and I feel like, everybody, I feel like my circle around me, they'll do the same for me too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want everybody to win. I like seeing people like succeed and all that. Like, it's just a good feeling I get. I feel like that's my calling, you know what I mean, to help people. Like, that's why every time I see a friend starting something or a family member doing something, like, I'm a support it, like, no matter what. I'm going to tell everybody about it. I'm going to share it. It's just, I like seeing people succeed in whatever they do. That's why I do that.
Yeah. I feel that, man, because I see you always posting family. I see you posting friends, like businesses. We got some family that's doing clothing lines. We got some family that's doing like other businesses, books and stuff like that. Podcasts with this one. So yeah, that support, man, that's important. And something you just said, you want to see everybody win. That's crazy because that's the title of this episode, Winning at Life, right? And so when you hear like winning at life, when you say you want to see everybody win, what does the term or the statement winning at life mean to you?
Winning at life, it's like, that's a good question.
Yeah, man.
You get deep in here. All right. Winning at life, it's when you're doing something that helps everybody, not just yourself, but it helps everybody in the end run. You know what I mean? Like, something that everybody that is gonna benefit from, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, that's what winning at life means to me. I feel like most people, it'll be like they'll say or they'll do something for just themselves. Like, winning at life is not just about you. It's about, I feel like it's a collective at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, that's what winning at life is. You know what I mean? Abundance. Like, for real.
Yeah, that's a good word to use, abundance, because when you're helping people and when you're supporting and when you want everybody to win, that just shows you that, like, it's not all about you. That shows that you understand that in order for you to win, not just saying like it's a selfish thing, but in order for you to win, the people around you, you have to be willing to help them win as well. And so, like, there's a reason there's the saying, like, strength in numbers, right?
Right.
Because, for me, a way that I try to help people win is by making sure that I'm good myself first. Because you can't help somebody unless you're in that position where you're good with yourself first, right?
That's fact.
And, like, something that Pastor Brian said in the first episode is it kind of took him a process to kind of love himself, right? Because if you don't love yourself, then you can't, like, love anybody else. You're not going to be able to help other people in the best way that you can help them. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, with you, right, would you say that you're in a position where you're, like, good within yourself and you're able to give other people, like, all of you to support, all that support that you're willing to give them?
Like, sometimes I am and sometimes I'm not. I'm the person that's gonna, I'm gonna give you my all even when, like, I don't feel the best or I'm not in the best, like, headspace or something. Yeah. That's just, like, I know it's kind of like, it's not the best thing to do, but that's just how I've been, like, my whole life. Because I just, I like to see everybody, like, happy and stuff. I don't want to, and I don't like to bring, like, another type of energy to them. So I just, whatever I can do, that's what I can bring to the table. No matter how I'm feeling, like, I try to, be in the best spirits when I'm helping other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. But, I mean, I'm working on it, like, making sure that I'm straight, too.
Yeah.
Cause that's important at the end of the day. Like, cause when you, it's like you're converting all that energy out, and even when you don't feel the best, it's like that's only gonna make you feel, worse.
Yeah,
like when it's kind of like you're just draining yourself.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, that's something that I'm still working on. But like, regardless of how I feel, I'm gonna try to like provide. Yeah.
I hear that, man. Yeah, and I think part of that too, like I was saying earlier, is the family we have too. Because even when we have an uncle who's in the military, and every time he comes to Charlotte, it brings the whole family together, and we're all gathered at our grandmother's house, and we're just having a good time, and everybody's just smiling the whole time, and it's contagious,
Yeah.
Like even when something's not, what I'm talking about. Like
Yeah.
we just be mid conversation, they just start laughing for no reason.
Yeah. he'll come dap us up, and then he'll just be like, yeah, and just start laughing.
Yeah, and even with our cousins, all of our, if you don't know, all of our uncles, they're always laughing, always like have a smile on their face. And with the kids as well, my cousins, like everybody's always just laughing. Like Leroy, Lil Jimbo, like they're just laughing all the time. Adam, Christian, always laughing all the time.
I think that's where I get it from. Like I just be laughing. I'll laugh, like it'll be something I'll think about, or I just laugh, and then they'll start laughing. So it's like everybody laughing.
Yeah, yeah. That I think that's an important thing, because our family is so good, like awesome, and so much wisdom, and they're always in good spirits. So that's contagious, and like that's why it's important to make sure that you're good with yourself, because when people see you happy, even if everything may not be like the best, I think as long as you are looking at it like glass half full instead of half empty, then it'll be contagious and stuff like that. But to kind of pivot a little bit, the reason I was talking to you before we recorded this, and I was saying like I'm kind of strategic in what I name episodes. Right. So the reason I named this Winning at Life is because that's what you told me a while ago, right? And so something I like to do is, and I say this every episode, something I like to do is I like to remember when, where, and how I met people. Right. But we've been family, we've been locked in since the beginning. So it's not even really about like when, where, and how. But the reason I do that is because I want to see like where our relationship how much our relationship has grown and stuff like that. Right. And so, like I said, me and you have been locked in like brothers since the beginning. And I've always like respected you, but when you told me this, I was like, dang, like Josh is like my dude, bro. So you know how I graduated early, right? And you say I betrayed you?
Yeah. Hey, you gonna tell him? Or?
Nah, you go ahead.
So look, we been in like the same grade like our whole lives, right? So like, I would want to, this was high school. So throughout high school, I had no knowledge of this. And then one day, my aunt, his mom, she told me that, it was my uncle, his dad. He told me that he's graduating early. I was like, you're lying. You gotta be lying. And then I asked my aunt. She was like, yeah, he's graduating early. I was like, you're lying. And he wasn't even like, this was at our grandma's house. He wasn't even in the house.
Yeah, I wasn't there.
He wasn't even in the house. So I was like, did I hit you up like at that same moment, or I hit you up later?
I think you hit me up that same moment.
Bro, I couldn't
it may have been later. I think it was later. It was later.
I couldn't believe it, bro. Like, so, yeah. And I thought they was playing, because sometimes they play, they'll say something, they'll be joking about it. But they was serious. So I hit them up. I was like, how come you didn't tell me you was graduating? Mind you, this is towards the end of the school year, right?
Yeah.
So
I was about to graduate. Yeah.
So I'm a junior, and he supposedly be a junior too. So I thought he was a junior. So he graduated early. I was like, dang. I was like, dang, he graduating, and he's just leaving me, like, you know what I mean? But
Yeah, so that's why we yeah, so for a while and even still today, like we just have this joke where he's like, you betrayed me, and we both laugh at it. But yeah, that gets me to like what I was talking about. Like that day, like like I said, I already had like respect for you crazy, but my respect for you grew so much more because like even though we were joking, I think you called me that night or maybe a few days later. I don't remember, but I think it was that night you called and we were talking. You were like, so what's the deal? You graduating? And then you were doing like the whole betraying thing and stuff like that. And then like you told me like, hey, bro, nah, it's cool. Like, you know, you're doing your thing, and you told me you're winning at life. So yeah, and like that stuck with me like crazy because I was like, dang, like it. Even though like you were happy for me, but at the same time, like I did feel some sense of, is it fair to say you were kind of like feeling some type of way too?
I didn't. Well, I wasn't mad at you. I was just like, I was more shocked. I was I was like, dang, he really did that. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
yeah. And then you were like, nah, you're winning that. Cause I think I told you I struggled with that cause it was like I had all my friends and then I kind of felt alone a little bit cause I was like, man, I'm a junior in the seniors class now. I wasn't really friends with too many of them. So like I wasn't really doing the senior field trip. I was scared to do like the you know how they do like the senior night for sports games. I was scared to do that for football and basketball because I didn't want anybody. I didn't really want anybody to know because I was kind of like, man, the more I deny this, the more I like let it go, then the less real it will be. Yeah, you know, because I didn't want to leave because
I feel that. Yeah,
I was just locked in with like so many things and so many people in my grade, and so in a way I was like, dang, like is this even like what I want? And then you were like, nah, bro, you're winning that life. Like, you're doing your thing. Like, there's not a lot of people doing what you're doing. I was like, and that's when I was like, man, he could have told me anything, but he was like supporting me, right? Back to that supporting thing. Yeah, bro. So I was like, dang, like Josh is that dude, man. Like I rock, like we're family, but like that's why I always say like it's deeper than family, it's deeper than blood, because it's like we're like locked in crazy, man. But that's why I call this winning at life because of like your support, that was a huge like driving force for me to continue in college and stuff like that and give me motivation even with all of this, right? So yeah, that's why I say I try to remember like when and how I met people. Even though that's not when we met, I feel like that moment was kind of like
it was an extra spark.
Yeah. It was like, all right, me and Josh are like locked in now. Like it's only up from here. You know what I mean?
I thought that was hard. Like, cause a lot of people don't graduating in 3 years is big. Like, that's big, bro. I was like, dang, I want to graduate now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, I couldn't cause it don't work for everybody. It don't work for everybody. But yeah, it was, bro. Like that motivated me. Bro. I was like, dang, he finna get out of here. Like, you was about to be a freshman in college, and I was about to be a senior. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, dang, now I'm ready to graduate. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I was still in Charlotte, so we were still out here. And honestly, UNCC, that's like close. So that was what's up, man. But yeah, that's pretty much why I named this episode "Win That Life," and I was just trying to see, you know, what that means to you, because for me, that's exactly like you're like the embodiment of winning at life. Because like I think what you said is exactly right. With winning at life is not only about you; it's about helping others win as well. And by doing that's what I say. This almost every episode too. Something I heard this one rapper say. You know, have you heard of D1?
D1, nah.
He's cool. He's dope. You should listen to him.
Where he
but
from? It's not he from Detroit or something.
I don't know where he's from.
Know? Okay.
But I just like started listening to him. Mm-hmm. But I heard something he said on an interview, and I put this on my Instagram story not too long back as well. He was talking about significance over fame. Right. And pretty much like, you know, being famous is cool and like having the popularity, everybody sees you and knows who you are. But when you're significant, that means that like everybody that comes across you, like you're impacting them in some type of way. So like with you, like I'm not everybody in the family knows who I am, but like it's like everybody that comes, family I never even met before, they come and like they know you.
Yeah.
And that's why I say like you're the embodiment of like significance over fame, because like everybody like knows you, everybody has been impacted by you in some type of way. Everybody's got like, you know, stories, you know, oh, Josh did this, Josh did that. So like, yeah, man, that's why I was so excited to get you on here, because like
I didn't even know. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, bro, because when you're doing it, it's not, when it's like so natural.
Yeah,
you don't even like really notice it. You don't even really notice it, and like, cause a lot of times you're not gonna ask like people, what do you think about me?
Yeah.
So like when I'm at grandma's house, or when I'm like at other people's, hanging out with family and stuff like that, and we're talking about stories, like a lot of times they bring you up, and it's like you hear, I guess, how do I say it? It's you, so like people aren't really gonna just immediately tell stories about you when it's you. But when it's like somebody, I don't know how to say it. You know what I mean? Like,
I think I know what you're trying to say.
Like people,
is it
pretty much what I'm saying is your reputation behind your back is solid.
Oh, okay.
So like everybody that I talk to, when you're not present, it's all good things. And I think that's an important thing about people. Like, what will people say when you're not there? Right. And I've only heard good things. So dang. Yeah, man. But let's take it back though, right? Mm-hmm. We are in the business of talking about your stories, and everybody who comes in here, I like to hear about their stories. And like we always say, you know, it's your story could help others with theirs. Okay. And that doesn't just make you part of the story, but that makes you are the story, right? Mm-hmm. So even though we grew up together, let the people know, man, how was it growing up, man? How was it growing up?
Like, you talking about like us, or like just everything? Just everything.
Like this about you.
Oh shoot. So you know,
I know it's broad, but
I grew up in the same household. I got 3 brothers. 1 live with me. 2, they don't stay with me. They spread it out. And I mean, the household, like, everything was straight for real. I really wish I had a stronger connection with my I have 2 brothers I'm locked in with, and then 1 I'm not really too much locked in with them. I wish I had that connection. It's just because we ain't live with each other. But yeah, growing up, like, I wanted to become a dentist.
Dive into that, because I know you've told me about that before, mm-hmm. but I was always curious, like, where that came from.
Okay, so this is really like, as a kid, my mom made sure we was like always on top of that. Like, we was always going to the dentist, the doctor, the eye doctor. She was always on top of that. So, you know, out of all of those, the dentist really it interested me a lot, because it's like the job seemed easy, and then like it seemed fun, like how they would clean your teeth and they floss it after, and then, you know, they use a little mirror and stuff like that. And then growing up, like, I had like 8 cavities, so I was like back and forth into the dentist.
Oh yeah.
So like,
you were always going over.
I was always there. Like, even in between, you supposed to go like every 6 months. In between that, like, I'm going for like different procedures and stuff. Yeah. So, you know, I'm asking them questions and all that. Everything seemed pretty easy, and it's like I noticed stuff, like, you know what I mean? Like, I noticed kind of stuff. I wanted to become a dentist, and then, you know, I want to say, like, I got to I got to college, and then I was doing biochemistry. You remember I was doing biochemistry?
Yeah.
So I was doing biochemistry and stuff, and then that's when like I was like, I'm not really rocking with this for real. I was like, I'm gonna change my major. So like I'm talking to like different people who do like dentistry and stuff.
Yeah.
Talking to my cousin, you know, Danielle.
Yeah,
She a hygienist. I'm talking to the dentist in the office. I'm talking to my advisor. I'm like, how can I proceed with this without doing biochemistry as my major? And then she's saying like, you know, she's saying you can have the same major, but you know, just take like those prerequisites for dental school. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I chose communications because, you know, that's an easy major. I'm just trying to go to dental school. And then like later on throughout college, you know, you meet new people, you develop new interests.
Yeah.
So that's when I got into like, you know, my friend, he introduced me to like investing, and then I got into entrepreneurship, you know, building my own business. And yeah, that's where we at now. And like, honestly, like I always been that person to I'm gonna go back a little bit more personal instead of like, you know, that route. Like I always just been that person who, you know, who would try to whatever I do, like I'm gonna always try to benefit somebody in whatever I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm always trying to help somebody out with whatever I'm doing. You know, even when as a kid, like I ask my parents like, you know, y'all need help with anything? Like, is there anything that I can do?
Yeah.
Because my mom, like, you know, my mom, she a nurse, so she would work like long hours and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, is there anything like you want me to do around the house and stuff? You know, because we be home like a lot. Like I say, especially like summertime.
Yeah.
We be home like every day. So I'm like, and my dad was working too. So I'm asking him like, is there anything we can do like to help out and stuff like that? I just always just try to be that person to, you know, make it easier. Just make it easier for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like that's that's my life. That's
Yeah,
my life,
I
man.
feel that, man. Yeah, even your parents, you know, my uncle and my auntie, great people, man.
Yeah.
Something I noticed about them too is, you know, Uncle Cantrell, he's a straight shot dude. Like he'll tell you he'll tell you, he's not afraid to tell you how it is, and he's like firm.
Yeah,
he's kind of like, he's sort of like grandpa a little bit.
That's crazy. That's what my mom said. Yeah, that's what my mom said.
See, grandpa, grandpa, we won't get too much into grandpa, but our grandpa, he's crazy dude. Like he'll just like, he's not afraid to tell you like how it is. Like it doesn't matter how old, how young you are. Like we could talk about him all day.
Literally, yeah.
So many stories. But yeah, your dad's a firm, but your dad's still, you know, he helps out. I know he you know, sometimes he even goes to grandma's and helps out over there too. Yeah. And then your mom, you know, even being in nursing, that I mean, you gotta help out in nursing, but outside of nursing, like she just is always willing to help out. Even back then with the giving gifts over Christmas and stuff, she'll always give us gifts.
Yeah,
not saying it's just about gift giving, but just the thought and how she's always there. Like if we give her a call, she's always willing to answer and just help us out and talk and things like that. Yeah. And she's a hard worker, man. She recently graduated too. There was doctorates or masters. Okay. Yeah. So just hard working, man. And would you say like those traits from your parents that like helped you out while you were coming up?
Most definitely. Like, especially my mom is, I'm not even trying to like, I don't even want to like brag or anything about her, but that's where I get it from. Like,
And
hardworking, like caring. You know what I'm saying? Like responsibility. She carries all that, bro. She carried all that weight on her. Like I'm just like, dang, she's really like, she's like superwoman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And like the fact that she's like, I seen her go through so much stuff, and like the fact that she's still like standing up strong is crazy, man. Like same thing with my dad. He a hard worker. Like that's where I get it from.
Yeah.
And like it's a lot of traits he has that I don't have. That you know how my dad is sometimes. Man.
Yeah, man.
Like, he's solid though. Yeah, I get it from them, to be honest, man. Like, yeah, I wouldn't be here without them. To like being real with you, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. And it's not even bragging, man. Like it may sound bragging because I know there's a lot of people out there that they're not really connected with their family, or they may have family that had passed away, or family that's unfortunately not in their lives and things like that. Yeah. But I think when we talk good about our family, I wouldn't consider it bragging, but it's more like that's just our reality. Like we can't not mention them when we're talking about like where we are in our lives.
It's like I'm thankful for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's more like I'm thankful to have them in my life, because like you said, it's a lot of people who who are less fortunate than us, who don't have like that system around them. You know what I mean? So I'm just thankful.
Yeah, and that's one of the big goals for this podcast too. Even if people may never meet me or meet you, by listening to this, they may be like, maybe they, may have wanted to be a dentist, and then they had a pivot in their life, and now they're jumping into entrepreneurship. Hey, when I tell y'all, this man has the game. Like he helped me out with like business stuff. He helped me out with LLCs and all that stuff. Like we won't get into that now, but just all that stuff. He's got the game, man. He knows what he's talking about. But speaking of that, your business ventures, right?
Right.
You know what? I know you said you met people and things like that. Right. Those people that you met in college and with the trading and everything, how did they kind of influence you to jump into the entrepreneurship route? And
how did they influence me? So
I don't want to say influence. I guess like you know what I mean. Like, yeah.
I know what you mean, bro.
Yeah.
So, all right. I'm gonna go back a little bit. So like in like high school, I was selling like candy and stuff. So
yeah.
So I was selling.
I remember that, bro.
I had the Reese's, the Hershey's, the Snickers, the cinnamon rolls, honey buns, Gatorades, had gum, everything you needed. I had it. So it started out like I would bring, I started out bringing like snacks to school. So I bring like a honey bun or something, and like two juice pouches. And I was also running track, so I needed snacks anyway. So my friend, like one of my friends in my classes, he was like, "Yo, you eating that honey bun? I'll give you $1 for it." I'm like, I'll take the $1. So, it really started from that. Then I brought like 4 the next day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And more people started asking, and I'm like, this is pretty easy. So like I say, like a week later, I go to Sam's Club. I buy like 5 boxes of honey buns. I buy Gatorade. I buy some cinnamon rolls. Then I started selling candy and stuff. I was even selling to the teachers.
Man,
selling to the teachers, the principals. But yeah, I like that was easy for me. You know what I mean? Like, take the profit, set it aside, go back, reinvest it into the buying more stuff.
Yeah.
I had everything, I'm telling you. So when I got to like college and stuff, and I got introduced to like, I had friends who were investing and stuff. They were doing different, like they were doing investing in crypto, stuff like that. I was like, I was like, I like flipping money. So
Yeah.
if y'all teach me how to do it, I mean, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
You know, scare money don't make money. So that's when I started investing and stuff like that. And then eventually I got into like the entrepreneur side, which was like, you know, like teaching people, stuff like that. And, you know, charge a little fee. So, yeah, like after that, it took off from there.
Yeah.
I started doing other things, and then me and my friend, Asher, we created a label. We was like making music back in high school, but like, you know, we really recently just started taking it serious.
Yeah.
So we recreated a label and stuff. I'm not gonna get too much into that, you know what I mean? And then now me and my other friend, we working on this one brand that's releasing real soon. Y'all gonna see. I ain't gonna say it on here.
Yeah, yeah.
But y'all gonna see. It's fire. I promise.
Confidential.
Yeah, it's confidential. So, yeah, like honestly, it all came. To be real, it all came from high school when I started selling candy. Like,
Yeah.
it's something that was easy to me, and like when I was introduced to entrepreneurship, like later on in like college and stuff, it's like I did this before, you know. So it wasn't nothing. It wasn't nothing new to me, you know. Of course, you gotta learn other stuff, like, you know, within it.
Yeah.
It's like if you selling candy, is more to it than just that. But my different ventures and stuff, of course, you gotta learn like other stuff to it. So when I started learning more stuff, it's like, bro, it's fun, it's easy, and it's fun. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Now we here. I'm honestly, like, you still learn, like, you learn from your mistakes, you learn from what you do right. Like, it's like a ongoing learning journey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, so yeah, I'm still, even to this day, I'm still learning. Like, yeah, I'm still learning.
Yeah, that's funny because y'all hearing this now for the first time, but I remember all that. Like, I remember he used to come in. He used to come with. When I used to go to his house, I used to see the stash and everything.
Boxes. Boxes to the ceiling.
But I didn't know, like, that's where it began. Like, I knew that's what you were doing, but I didn't know, like, that had an influence on, like, when you got to college and we're doing the entrepreneurship stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like that, it was the one lyric, 6 years old, try to sell the homie candy. All I knew was how to get the money or something. I forget who said that, but it may have been, dang, I can't think. I'll look it up afterwards, but yeah, that's what it reminded me of. But yeah, man, just the fact that was high school, right, or middle?
That was high school.
Okay,
late high school. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So the fact that, like, that's what you already kind of had that mindset. That's crazy, because a lot of people that jump into entrepreneurship, that's like after they've, you know, had a job or something like that, and it may not have been exactly what they wanted, so they hop out of that and start a business or something like that, or other things like that. But the fact that you started, like, early, like, you're already at a head start, man. So that's what's up, man. Yeah. But I know you say you didn't want to get too much into, like, the label and everything, but just kind of like that process, you know, when you and it's Asher, when you were Asher in high school, and y'all rapping and stuff like that, did you ever envision, like, the label, or was it just something you were doing for fun?
Good, yeah. All right, I like that. So, did I ever envision a label? No, not at first. It was something we were doing for fun. Yeah. So, I'm gonna tell the story. So this is like freshman year. We like 14 at the time.
Yeah, pecan. Y'all pecan.
Little pecan.
If y'all know, pecan is like African slang for like small boy.
Yeah. So Asher, he's the one that, like, he he kind of bring it to me. He was like, I don't remember exactly how it went. I don't want to be wrong, but he kind of like, I forgot if he asked me or if he was like, because we wasn't close like that for real until I want to say like later in freshman year. We wasn't like that close yet, but we would always like sit next to each other like in like when school first started. So that's when like we just became friends like that. We knew somebody. We both knew this one person, and that's how we just became friends. Yeah. So, like I forgot how it happened, but it was one day, I sent him like a voice memo. So I had a beat, and then I played the beat from like a speaker, and then I wrote down some lyrics. Yeah. And then I recorded a voice memo and I sent it to him, and he was like, "That's fire." I was like, "Yeah, man, just a little something." And then from there we would like go over each other's house and stuff like that, and like we was just writing. At first we had no microphone or nothing, no microphone.
Writing lyrics.
We was just writing lyrics. That's it. And so eventually I bought a microphone, and then we started like, Audacity, like the platform you record stuff on.
I know it. Yeah.
So Audacity is like it's like the low quality version of like, it's like the low quality version, like from when you just starting out like recording music. You can do other stuff on there, but recording music is not the best for Audacity. Yeah. So we hooked the microphone up to the computer, and then we put a YouTube beat on there, because you can you just you do like YouTube to MP3. We downloaded it on the computer, and we just dragged it to Audacity. Yeah. And then we hooked the microphone up, and we just started recording, bro. Yeah. And then after that, it was taking a long time to make them songs too, like, cause we didn't, we was new, like we didn't know how to do all that. Yeah. So, like from there we started making songs, and then we started putting them out on SoundCloud. And then we started making pieces of work, like EPs, and then we released this one mixtape. I still think it's hard. I think that mixtape hard. But it was very that was like when we first started. It was very low quality. And then what else? I'm trying to think. It's a very long time ago. And then one day, like we was making music for a minute. So like we was like, maybe we should like take this serious, you know what I mean? Yeah. We had a group name already. We had a group name. It was called Living Lavish Entertainment.
I remember that. Yeah.
We had a group name. But like later on we realized that's not what we wanted to like put out. You know what I mean? Like, it's Living Lavish. Well, it sounded like childish, and like it just wasn't what we was trying to push. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So later on, like I guess like we matured. So we're like, okay, let's make a switch. You know what I mean? Like let's make music that actually that's gonna be here for a long time.
Yeah, like timeless music.
Yeah, let's make music that's gonna, that's gonna help somebody. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's when we came up with Soul to Soul. You know what I mean? That's the label. Yeah. Right. And then I haven't made music in a long time. So like he's been dropping. Right. He just dropped his debut album this year.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
It's called Shift, y'all. Y'all go stream that.
Yeah, it's good.
It's hard.
I'm not. It's good. Like it's. I texted him like when I listened to it all the way through. you're not gonna be disappointed. Like, it's good.
It's good.
Go listen to
Great.
it. All streaming platforms.
All streaming platforms. So, yeah, that's Soul to Soul Records, like the gang. That's the
man.
label. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Me, like we just thought about like let's take a better approach to the music stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like with our knowledge, we could help other artists.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Give them an opportunity.
Yeah.
We're making like give them opportunity and then also make quality music at the same time.
Yeah.
Music that's gonna be here. Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the label.
And I think that's important. I think like, if you want to be here for a long time, you gotta come out with things that is relevant at any point in time.
Right.
And in most situations too. Like, that's part of the reason why J. Cole is my favorite artist. Because you could listen to his music whenever, wherever. Right. Like, he's got a catalog that's, for any situation, and you could listen to it 100 years from now or 100 years back then.
Right.
But yeah, I think that's important to, I think what separates certain, not just record labels, but any type of business or any person is like their reason. My senior quote was, "What's your why?" Right.
Right.
So I think when y'all were first doing the music and it was just for fun, that was cool.
Yeah, it was.
But
fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, but at the same time, I think as well, once you figure out like your why and like how you want to impact others with what you're putting out, I think that's what pushes you further with what you're doing. Because it'll be like with some artists, when it's just about fun and stuff, that's cool and all, but eventually it'll kind of get played out, right? But when it's actually like there's like a message behind what you're saying, and what was Asher's album was called Shift, right?
Yeah.
And what like made me really like the album was just there was like I could sense like the purpose behind it. Like I could sense like what he was doing. He didn't just go in the studio and just throw something out there. He like I could tell y'all put time and effort into bringing that whole process together.
To like a year and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's important, because even with this podcast, I was trying to figure, and you were there the whole way through. Like, I had so many like ways that I wanted to propel with my message. Right. It started out with, remember when I was when I was in high school, I wanted to do a mixtape, right?
Oh, remember that? I remember.
And I was going to call it the Reclassified, because I reclassified from the class of 19 to the class of 18, like we were talking about earlier, graduating early and stuff like that.
Right.
That, it didn't end up working out. It just takes me too long to try and write a song. You remember how I used to
you get writer's block.
Yeah, and I just couldn't figure out what to talk about. And then I'm not gonna say some stuff on here because there's still some stuff I'm working on behind the scenes, so I'm not gonna give out everything. But I remember when I finally put this in the air, You Are Story podcast, you had DM me and you were like, "Hey, this is what you've been working." I forget exactly what you said, but you said something like, "I remember you were talking about this."
Yeah, you was talking about this like for a minute. I was like, and then you posted. I was like, dang. I was like, dang, he finna do it.
Yeah, and I feel like this podcast, I feel like this is it. Like there were so many different ways that I was thinking about doing it, but I feel like this is it, because it's the message, not only my message but others' messages. It's stories. It has a purpose behind it, to help people and impact this world, and just have people come on and, share stories about themselves, stories that they may not even have told other people before. So I think the purpose behind that is what's going to help it separate it, you know. But for you, and you don't have to answer, but if you're comfortable, would you say the record label for you is it? I know you've got like different things that you're working on too, but would you say the record label is it for you? You know what I mean by that? Like
what you mean?
Like, so I know for everybody, for entrepreneurs, even though a lot of them have different ventures, I feel like all of them have like one thing that they're the most passionate about.
Oh, is that
so?
Would
you say like that's the thing you're you're most passionate about?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love music.
Yeah.
I love
music. Yeah.
I love music like my whole life. So yeah.
Yeah, because I could kind of sense that. I think for you, what I noticed in you and your label, just the work that you've put in it, you and Asher have put into it, and I'm sure there were other people that played a part in it as well. But just the fact that y'all put so much effort into it, I think that's important. And obviously, you should work with what you have. Not everybody has enough money to put stuff out there, but I think if you're willing to sacrifice, finances and things like that, and you're willing to put the best of yourself out there, whether it's quality and things like that, I think that'll work. Even with this, the logo and everything, and I invested a lot into this,
Yeah.
So I know that's
the game, yeah.
Yeah, and I know that y'all have invested a lot into the label and everything else that you're doing as well. And I think that's important that's why I was asking, is it for you? Is it what you're most passionate about? Because if you're, truly passionate about something, then you're just gonna go full force at it. Even if you may not be in the best position to start it up, it'll just always be in your mind, and that's what will like motivate you and stuff. But for you, right, with all of your business ventures and other things like that, do you share them to a lot of people, or do you kind of keep it low key until it comes out?
Yeah, I try to
keep it low key.
I try to keep it low key until it comes out. Close family. Yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell y'all, but yeah, a lot of things I am like discreet about.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I think I heard something on. There's this one podcast I listen to. It's called Dear Future Wifey. It's not even about finding a wife for me. It's just I enjoy hearing the conversations.
Yeah, and
there's value in that podcast that they bring into the world and stuff like that. But one of the guests on there, he described relationships kind of like concrete.
Yeah.
But for me, I kind of look at it as life, right? I think life and the things you're working on is kind of like concrete, because when concrete is wet, if too many people step on it, you can see the footprints when it's the final product, right?
Yeah.
So like, yeah,
it's hard. It's hard.
And like, so that's why I asked you that, and I do fall under that too. Like, I don't think I think you should be strategic in who you share things you're working on with. Not saying not because you don't trust people.
Nah, it's not even that.
If advice is good and things like that, but if you're just getting too much from too many different directions,
right,
it's slowly like, think about it like water, right? When you have water in a cup, and you put the ice in the cup, the water comes out and it's full of ice. It's I feel like when you get too much advice, I feel like it'll slowly start to become their product instead of your own, right?
Yeah.
And so like with going back to the concrete thing, too many footprints, too many people stepping on the things that you're working on, then once it's dried up, once it's out there, it'll be theirs. You'll see their footprints over
on the
all
sidewalk.
of it. Yeah, instead of and it'll overshadow yours. And so I think that's important in any person who's trying to go into entrepreneurship and business and things like that, because it's important to have mentors and get advice and stuff like that. I just realized I forgot to turn the lights back on. That's crazy, man.
It's cool. The light. I mean, the light's still good.
The light.
Yeah,
the light's all right. But I that just came in my mind. But yeah, I think it's important to kind of not necessarily keep it low key, but be strategic in who you share things with, because there's nothing wrong with having mentors and people that know. I like to call it know the game more than you. But I think it's important to also be careful, because you never know if you pull in too much advice and too many brains, then it could make what you're working on not yours anymore. But yeah, man, I think what you're doing with the label and everything else you're doing, man, it's gonna be up, man. I can already see it. Something that me and Pastor Brian were talking about in the first episode is he was talking about how he in a way, God's given him a gift to be able to see potential and see like where people can go. And in you, bro, like it's endless, bro. Like I know you're about to do something great, bro. Like you were just, and it all starts from your roots and that support, right? Some of the Bible says you reap what you sow, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm not saying for those out there, I'm not saying support people because you want, so I'm not saying support people to benefit yourself, but I do believe that when you support others and you're there for others and helping them out and things like that, you'll start to see your things in your life, progress and move like that. So just the way you support everybody, family, friends, schoolmates, peers, anybody like that, I'm already knowing it's going to be up for you, man. And
I appreciate you, bro.
We haven't even seen like a quarter of it yet, man.
Nah. I appreciate you.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy. Same for you.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna try to do better at supporting everybody too. I know I'm kind of like a homebody. I kind of keep to myself.
You disappear off of Instagram for like a month at a time. So you're good. You're good. I'm just always on social media. So like, it's just a natural instinct. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you, man.
Yeah.
But man, so thank you again for just being here, bro. Like, just gracing this platform with your presence, just supporting and, being a good cousin, being a good family, being a good brother, and being my day one, bro, So I appreciate you, man. Before we wrap up, man, where can people find you? Where can they tune in? Where can they lock in? Give them everything, man.
Y'all can find me. Y'all can find me on Instagram at the J Samuel, TheJSamuel. Or y'all can find me on Twitter at the J Samuel. Same thing. Facebook, Joshua Ijames. My label's Instagram, Soul to Soul Records LLC. And yeah, that's it. That's all the socials.
All right.
That's all the socials.
Yeah, hey, the floodgates are about to open. Y'all about to see a lot of this dude in the near future. I'm telling y'all right now. Y'all better get tuned in, or y'all better get right in or get left out. Is that how it goes? I don't know.
Get right or get left.
Y'all better.
You said it.
Y'all better get right or get left. The floodgates about to open. Y'all about to see a lot of my cousin here, man. So again, appreciate you being here, man.
Appreciate it being here.
Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for listening. Just to get locked in with us, we're on all the major podcast streaming platforms. That's Apple Podcasts, that's Spotify, that's Google Podcasts, and that is at UR Story. The letter U, the letter R, and then Story. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube at the same thing, the letter U, the letter R, and then Story. And, just get locked in with us, get tuned in early. And we're also on Instagram. It's at UR Story Podcast. That's the letter U, the letter R, and then Story Podcast. Just tune in with us on there. And we're also on TikTok as well. So go tune in. We're at UR Story Pod on TikTok. That's the letter U, the letter R, then Story Pod on TikTok. And we got everything. So the same way I just said with my cousin right here, the floodgates are about to open. Floodgates are going to open for UR Story Podcast too. So make sure you get locked in early. Continue rolling with us. And I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Appreciate y'all for listening. I know God is going to do some great things here. I know God is going to use Joshua's story here and just the game he shared. And it's going to impact many lives. You know, he's already impacted so many lives, but I know he's going to impact so many more. So just continue listening. Thank you for y'all for tuning in. And we'll see y'all next time. Peace.